So I thought I'd do something a little different. I'm going to show my 2 favorite scenes from the first 5-6 episodes of 7 Seconds in full. Now, if you don't want to watch, I will do a review towards the end. I'll put the time in the description that you can skip to for that. But these were my favorite scenes. I really liked them. I did want to include them.
Don't tell me about responsibility, boy. Oh, you took care of your family, huh? Well, what a father does is know his son to the core, to the bones. What he loves, what he hates. What makes you cry with joy and pain and everything in between?
Seth, calm down.
You tell me one thing you know about your son. Was the only thing Brenton ever wanted for his father to know him. All you had to do was ask.
Hey, what's nice, my nigga? You feel me? Let's go down.
Oh, I'm very thankful. Thank you, beloved. Appreciate it. Hey, give me the fried pig's feet. Hands up. Don't shoot.
You gonna be on YouTube, man, like a real life celebrity and shit. Look at this nigga, boy.
Yo, what the fuck? I just got that.
You want your phone? There's your fucking phone. Why didn't you call Messiah on it? Go on, do it. He ain't gonna be too happy when I check in with him and tell him how his punks are representing.
Chill, dog. We was just messing
Still
with
talking. Get the fuck out of here. Come on, let's go. Who's Messiah?
Yo, I'm talking to you.
So quick review, I'm going to start with what I really liked about the show. So it starts with a hit and run. And I love including hit and runs because most people are in agreement on moral questions. Most people wouldn't rape, wouldn't murder, wouldn't steal. It's a small minority that do those things. But then you have these issues that I think the divide between what people would do morally in them is much more evenly split. And with a hit and run, I think it's still a minority that would do a hit and run, but it's a much, much larger number than I think most other crimes that we see and other crimes of this serious nature, because a hit and run is very serious. It involves matters of life and death. And this was explored in the new season of Black Mirror. And to make matters in some ways even more understandable, he's actually rushing because there's a complication with his not newborn baby, but his pregnant wife. She has a complication, so that's why he's rushing. And then in addition, he's on the fence about what to do, and then his friends, the people he works with, they're the bad influence on his ear, coercing him, increasing his fear, putting fear in him and saying, look, it's the climate we live in, everyone's going to blame you, people are really polarized right now and everyone's going to blame you. So this kind of cynicism, and also how cynicism, you believing that other people are bad people and other people are going to do the wrong thing, this can lead you to actually do the wrong thing. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. And we see all those little thoughts and assumptions we make about other people. We see it explored in the show that while the person he hit, he didn't hit them because he hated them or because he wanted them to die, but because of his assumptions about that person, maybe did he treat their death a little less seriously, and was he more likely to not turn himself in because A, maybe he thought that nobody would care and he'd have an easier time getting away with it, or 2, he thought that people would care too much and they would really go after him and make him this kind of scapegoat for all these other racial issues in the country. There's also the issue that, or this little assumption that, you know, we see someone and they have an expensive bike, but they're from a poorer area. So then you form the assumption, oh, maybe it's drug money. And whereas if it was someone else with a rich bike, with a nice bike, you would never make that same assumption. So all these just little assumptions that go into and add up to where you end up falling on different issues. And we get this great portrayal of dirty cops, corrupt cops, or just kind of cops in general, how they operate, especially at high levels and things like narcotics, where they don't try to arrest everybody. They work with a lot of different criminals to try to catch other criminals. And we see how criminals can manipulate this. The criminals that are working with the cops, not only do they want them to not get arrested and they want immunity, but they also want these upstarts, these people cutting into their business. They say, well, look, why don't you go arrest them? That'll help us out as well. And I also love how they show the issues when cops don't feel like they're a part of the community that they're policing. They feel like they're in some way separate from the community. And we see this when they say, they're animals, they're not like us. And this is where you get the police as kind of this adversarial force, almost like a military occupation, rather than the police are made up and are really the same as the people of the community. They're one and the same. And then I really liked the buddy cop pairing. It's not buddy cop, it's more oddball. And I've never seen this dynamic before. It's the guy who's called Fish in the show. I know him from Scrubs. It's funny. I haven't really seen him in anything else. Now he's playing this goofy, kind of rough, puts up this politically incorrect front, but really you can tell deep down he's got the heart of gold. And then you pair him with this black woman who's very uptight and disapproving, but they give her some additional shading, so she's not a complete cliche. But I actually thought it really worked, and they had a really nice dynamic together. And it was interesting. I've never seen a dynamic like that before. And last thing I'll say that I really liked, we get this father-son relationship that's just brutal. The father, he comes over, fakes a bit of niceness for about 20 seconds, hits the son up for money, gets the money, and then Fake goes to punch his son, and you see his son flinch, and the dad laughs and calls him this little nickname he has, like some kind of creepy uncle. It's just a horrible relationship with just this user exploitive father. And the show has some really nice visuals. I love the opening credits. I loved how the show opened. The only complaint I really have, I like most of the elements of the show, it's just really long. I think the story, there isn't that much story there, and they really stretch it out over 10, 50 plus minute episodes, so it's just a really long season. I don't think you can really binge it. I think you definitely have to split it up into 2 or maybe even 3 chunks, but it is a good show. My only complaint is, and it's not even a complaint because in some ways you don't have to binge every show. Some shows are meant to, you take some time with them. So I think it's a good show. I'd recommend it.